What's going on, guys? Louis here for 100% Chelsea for your Liverpool versus Chelsea match review, where we drew 1-1 with the Scousers. Disappointing result considering last-minute equaliser for Christian Benteke, who, let's face it, hasn't been the best player this season, and it was a Begovic mistake. Nice one. This is, for me, why I think he is a good keeper, but he doesn't have the calibre to play for a top 4 team. And I know we're currently not a top 4 team. I know we're poor, but we need to have a solid backline. We need to know what we're doing. This is where, the situation with Courtois walks in. He was ill before kickoff. I don't know. I think that might be him out the door now. If I'm honest, adios for someone who doesn't really care. Doesn't want to bother with it, then you can go, mate. That's your choice. But I think we need to sign a keeper in the summer. Someone solid. I know I'm saying Begovic isn't a top quality keeper, but a top quality keeper who is English. This is where I'm thinking. If you sign an English keeper, then that could only help our situation. 1, with homegrown players. 2, their quality. And I think everyone knows who I'm talking about. Even though he's currently injured, I think Jack Butland could be someone to potentially go for in the summer. I think he is a solid keeper. I think Courtois is out the door. If I'm honest, that's fine by me. I couldn't care less. If he's I'm gonna just be like him. If you're not gonna care, why should we care about you? So that's what I think. But there are positives to take out of this performance. There is Bertrand started. There was Tammy Abraham coming on. There was the fantastic goal by Eden Hazard, and there was also Ruben Loftus-cheek. So there are 4 situations here where Gus Hiddink is starting to go. Nothing to play for. A couple of games left. Let's just finally go for it. Too little, too late, if you ask me. But the way we played yesterday, it was like, no, I'm not saying we played like our old selves, like we were good again, but we were angling. It almost looked like we were angling for the draw. The game wasn't something which you get up off your feet. You were watching. I was there going, it's a pretty ordinary game of football. You got off your feet in a couple of scenarios. I mean, Liverpool started excellently, but we started to get hold in the game, and then in the end, we just lost it. We had opportunities to kill it off, but we didn't kill it off. We didn't have that last edge, which is what we've been lacking, I think, as well as just being poor. I think when it comes to killing games off, when we were in those situations, for example, Southampton and Liverpool, where we went 1-0 up, we had the opportunity to kill a game off in the first 10-20 minutes by going 2-0 up, and it never happened. And that is where we've fallen down. We haven't had the mentality, we haven't had the psychology there to approach these games like we should. But I'm talking negatively. If we move on to the positives, obviously you have Ruben Loftus-cheek. He came on briefly, I know, but he came on. Bertrand started. He looked pretty decent. Tammy Abraham. He looked really good. For a player who just scored 50 goals in a calendar year last year, then I think he should be looking good, and I think he should be playing more. Obviously, with no Diego Costa, that gave him the opportunity. And he came on, didn't look out of place. I don't think he put a foot wrong. And I think there's only something to build his confidence and to build on. I think he's got pace. He was always on the last shoulder, asking for the ball. I want it, let's move, let's go forward, let's be direct. And that's exactly what I thought we should have been. And I thought we did well with that. Pedro obviously played well as well. That was another player who had an opportunity to kill off the game. Didn't happen, unfortunately. But that stuff like that happens. But Hazard's goal. What can I say? I'm not going to say Hazard's back. I'm not going to say, he's amazing, he's coming back, he's doing this, he's amazing. Let's come down to earth really for a second. This was 4 games to go, 5 games to go. He suddenly appears again. The last time he scored at the Bridge, that goal he scored against Spurs, it was exactly a year since he had scored, and it was that penalty which won us. Well, we won the league against Crystal Palace. That's why I'm not saying he's back. I don't think he's. I think he's either angling for a move, or he's got these, or there's this mentality now where Mark Wilmot has obviously said to him, if you play like you've been playing all season, I'm not going to pick you. There are players that are out there that could be playing better. You've got De Bruyne, you've got Dries Mertens, you've got Nacer Chadli, I don't know about him, but you've got these players which are contending for those positions. I mean, on his day, Hazard is without a doubt one of the best in his position there in the world. He's one of the best, but which is what he showed yesterday. But when he's not there and he's just floating and he's not really doing a lot. He's a waste of a player. And I think all of a sudden when he just turned up, it's obviously a move off of the Euros. That's all I'm putting it down to. If he stays next season, I'll hold my hands up and say I was wrong. He actually cares. He's wanting to work hard. But until we see that again, so if he stays next season, he's playing in, game out. He's getting the goals. He's getting the assists. He's causing problems. That's when I can hold my hands up. Until then, I'm not saying anything because I don't believe, I don't believe he's doing that for Chelsea anymore. I think he's doing that for himself. It's great to see him get his confidence back, however, but at the end of the day, I'm going to be pessimistic about it. Even though I admit, great goal, I celebrated like a pair of socks at Christmas. Dan said exactly the same thing. It's a disappointing result. Good performance from the boys though, and onwards and upwards. Let's give Leicester that guard of honour they deserve at the weekend, and up the Chelsea. Subscribe to 100% Chelsea. All social media links are down in the description below. Also, check out my review on the Redmen TV. Yeah, it was pretty decent. I mean, Liverpool played well, and so did we. It was a pretty average game, but I'll leave the rest of it over there. But anyway, guys, I will see you soon. Take care, subscribe, and check out the Redmen TV video as well.